When I moved to the Beverly Hills area, I was told that people love to talk about three things: the weather, celebrity, and houses. And so to be able to talk effectively about that last one, to be able to talk about houses, it's great to be able to have some market insights. So we're gonna dive in and talk about the best market insights that you're gonna wanna know about Beverly Hills, particularly if you're thinking about buying or selling at any point. Hey, this is Erik Brown, your local real estate agent, and I wanted to say welcome back to the Best of Beverly Hills, where we go through the best and brightest of all things Beverly Hills real estate. Now, as always, I would encourage you to check out some of our other videos. You're gonna see some great information about all things Beverly Hills that's gonna help you if you're ever thinking about buying or selling a home or investing in property here. So hit that like button, smash subscribe, even share this with somebody else that you think might be able to take advantage of the information that we have to go over. Now, I might have mentioned this once before if you've seen any of the other videos, but I'm a transplant. I'm not originally from the Beverly Hills area. And so you get to see the city through the lens of someone that has looked on it with fresh glasses himself. And so I'd love for you to be able to kind of guide along with me, have me be your tour guide as we walk through some of the wonderful things that this city has to offer, and particularly as it revolves around buying or selling a house. Now, as I mentioned, it is really important if someone's considering about making a buying or selling decision to have a great set of market updates or research that is at their fingertips. So if you're ever thinking about selling a house and want to know values of properties in your neighborhood or know what your home is worth, or if you're thinking about buying and want to know what homes are selling for in a neighborhood and what you may need to offer on properties, sure, you can just look online, but what if you had an extra set of market information to be able to help you? That's what we're gonna go over today. So let's jump in. So as a starting point with really good data for you to be able to make informed decisions about your Beverly Hills home goals is going to be based on noteworthy statistics. These can be things like average price per square foot, how much days on market a typical property will sit or rest at, what is the listing price compared to the sale price of a property, what's the average price of homes that sell in the area, and what is the price per square foot. These are really great starting points. So know, as an example, homes that are south of Wilshire are generally going to be at a lower price point than homes that are in the flats, say between Santa Monica and Sunset Boulevard. Know that with those same trends, you might find that homes that are in a gated community have different days on market than homes that are in the hills that are on one of the canyon roads, like Benedict or Coldwater Canyon. The next point that I love to share is knowing notable properties that are in the city or in your given neighborhood. So if your property is at $5 million, $10 million, $50 million, $100 million, knowing similar comparables over the course of the past 6 to 12 months and beyond is going to be really helpful for you. So knowing things like the Spelling Mansion or the Geffen Mansion that have sold in recent history, setting price per square foot and price records for Beverly Hills. When the Playboy Mansion sold for $100 million, it obviously made big national news. And the same thing can be said at smaller price points and in your given neighborhood. Is there a property that is setting the bar? Understanding that and knowing the differences of that given property versus others that are in the area, or even based on certain streets. The difference between, on a retail level, Rodeo and Cannon and Beverly are pretty big. And the same thing can be said for homes that are on different roads. So if you're on Mulholland versus you're on Sunset, or you're just south or north of either of those, can make a world of difference. Having that understood and laid out for you is going to be a pretty big advantage when you're thinking about buying or selling. Also with market data, and not directly related to housing, can be the happenings that are going on in the area. I know one of the big things that has been top of mind in greater Los Angeles for some time is homelessness. And if homelessness is in a given neighborhood or city, that can also play into account someone's desirability of looking to buy or sell. And so knowing about the happenings of an area Has there been any tax reform changes on investment property? That these things can also take into account. And knowing if there is zoning or building changes that have come into play. At one point several years ago, Beverly Hills had a mansionization ordinance. What was called the lot area variance was changed. You could only build a home of a certain size based on the lot size of the property that didn't used to exist. And so understanding the happenings of a given neighborhood or a given city like Beverly Hills can be really helpful also. The next thing that I like to share is trends that are happening in given housing stock. Now that can not just be revolved around zoning or changes that are happening in a neighborhood based on trends that we spoke of before, but this is more along the lines of trends in homes. So you might see more homes are becoming eco-friendly, or they're becoming smart homes, or more homes will have elements that have been installed that are antimicrobial. You might see higher levels of security. As these trends continue to move forward, it's going to make homes more or less desirable if they have these items or if they don't have these items. And so this can also play into account as you're looking at your home selling or buying decisions. So looking at those types of items can be awfully helpful. Coupled also in that is going to be things like trends in the weather. So we're seeing this aspect of more fires that are happening, brush fires that are happening in Southern California. We're also seeing a heat index that is starting to tick up. So depending on if you live in the hills or the flats, depending on if you get more or less ocean effect, could also play into account in some of your decisions as you move forward. So this is a pretty good stopping point for me to say a lot of this market data is going to be subjective depending on the neighborhood. So as we're looking in Beverly Crest, or you're looking at Beverly Glen, or we're looking at the Flats, or we're looking south of Wilshire, we're looking closer to Century City, or you're looking closer to West Hollywood, all of these are going to play into a decision. And we always tailor a market research when someone's thinking about buying or selling, personalized for you and your goals. And so no, at any point if you have questions, there's no selling, there's no pressure, we're just here to be helpful. So know that my team is here as a resource, and if at any point you need to connect, you can always give us a call or shoot us an email or visit us on our website. I would encourage you to do so, knowing again, no pressure on our part, we're just here to be helpful. As always, we are one click away from your dream home goals, so touch base with us anytime and we can talk all things Beverly Hills. Talk to you soon.